I know that, in old Tibet, they would often pay someone to recite a text for them, right? And now we have computers that can read the text to us. Yeah. And so these sort of things, doing these sort of things, is this merit making for you, or how do you think about those sort of things?
This is what Buddha said, motivation. This is probably one of the subtle but a very important difference between a lot of the interpretation of karma in Hinduism and karma nowadays. The word karma is kind of used by everybody. But in Buddhism, karma, the big chunk of karma ingredient is actually motivation. So if you, even with a motivation, and I'm really being serious here, let's say you are so busy, but you want to quickly accumulate a merit with just a motivation to go into 84,000 reading room, just for a moment. And actually, I'm not only talking about 84,000, any of the Dharma books, just open the Dharma books, or even browse in the Amazon Dharma books with a motivation to visit and look at the Dharma text titles, just for even like 10 seconds. There is merit. And I'm not saying this, I'm not making this up. This is Buddha himself said. Those who have, in the sutras, you will read, even if you have it, the text, even if you have the text somewhere in your house or in your bag, you have a merit. So as long as you have a motivation and some effort of switching it on, of course you have a merit.
Yeah. Intention. So Rinpoche, when people are making the apps, they also have to know that this is a Dharma activity. They're just not just making something. It's a Dharma activity so they can have the intention for the benefit of all people as well. And it's just something else came to my mind, actually. Now that we have the Dharma, like all the texts on here, it's amazing to be able to make merit just by opening it up and reading the different titles. But then I was also thinking, this now, put it in my pocket, right? Is this a holy object? What about when it goes in my pocket? How do we think about that?
Okay. Now, merit, punya, is so related to culture also. Tibetan culture, and then of course the Tibetan culture, many of the Tibetan concept of a culture, a Tibetan concept of sonam, merit, is also going to India, the Indian. So, for instance, like Tibetans offer imaginary lotus flower. Pre-1959, most of the Tibetans don't even know they don't have a clue about what is lotus. Lotus doesn't grow there. So what I'm saying is, in the Asian culture, like putting holy objects, stepping over, holy objects, or putting this, your pocket. Yes. So there's that. Now, but this is why the Buddhist idea of karma is so profound, because now, having heard this, from now on, if you do even feel a little bit of guilty for putting the phone on your pocket here, because I have, the sutras here, you're already creating a merit.
Yeah.
Or putting your phone on your head because there is a, Dharma text, you are creating a merit. And probably in your phone, who knows what you have? There are so many other things probably, but doesn't matter. It's your motivation.
Nice, Rinpoche. Thank you. While we're on the topic of merit, sonam, punya, can you talk a little, like there's a lot of people who are like so-called Buddhist skeptics, and I know you have fun with them, Rinpoche, but how do you talk about merit? How do you explain merit to a new Buddhist? You know, someone comes in, sits down with you and says, and you start talking about merit. How do you explain that concept to them?
Okay, very important question. You know, let me twist this a little bit. You know, in Buddhism, there is no concept of sin. There is ignorance. Just as many other religions are wary and cautious of sin, Buddhists ideally should be, you know, cautious of ignorance. Now, what does this tell us about punya, about merit? Merit, at the end of the day, how do you define what is merit and what is not? At the end of the day, any action that takes you closer to the truth, that is a merit. If you offer 100,000 lotuses, but if it only enhances your ego, takes you further from the truth, not really merit in this case. So anything that unveils, anything that takes you closer to the truth is basically a merit. Because you see, fundamentally, remember, if wisdom, compassion, and morality are going for a drive, wisdom should be the driver. Yeah. And the compassion should be sitting next to the driver. Morality, maybe backseat, sometimes even in the trunk. Because all these, you know, like morality, generosity, mindfulness, all of this, without the wisdom, they are pain in the neck.
Yeah.